Bonjour, everyone. Hi, this is Neshi Lokotz. Welcome to Star Nation's organization's main fan page, where I do this daily live stream and also the daily group card draw that I do in the morning. And we get to have a conversation about it during the live stream. So, welcome. Today is Wednesday, February 27th. I know this fast, right? Really, really fast. This month has been gone by so quickly. It's like less than a blink of the eye, right? Yeah. But we've also been, how do I want to say this? How many snowstorms can you have in a short month? A lot. It snowed again last night and woke up to about 2 or 3 inches of snow. I know that doesn't sound like a lot, but added to what we already have on the ground, and it's pretty deep. So much so that George, who happens to be at puppy daycare today, having fun with other four-leggeds, in the backyard, it's fenced in for him. And I noticed yesterday in the morning that he could go up to the fence and look over the fence. The top of the fence is like right here. Now, he's a good jumper. He's a good leaper. And so I shared that with Paul, and so Paul went out and got some snow fencing to put on along the top of it. So at least he's got a little bit of a barrier. Yeah. Paul and I were even teasing about it. It's like we wouldn't even say it out loud. And I said, don't even have any pictures in your mind about it. No telepathy. It's like wipe the slate clean. There's no pictures of it anywhere. And because, George is a very smart boy. And because basically I just have to hold the image in my mind, and he will go and run and get whatever toy I'm thinking about or seeing in my mind's eye. So, yeah. So anyway, we woke up to a little bit more snow. Yeah. Although, I actually went and had my eye test, my annual exam. And I was talking to the lady who was helping me to order new glasses. And she was complaining about the snow. And I said, to me, it's okay. I'd rather have the snow than that polar vortex stuff. Because that's too frigid. Too frigid, man. All right. So welcome. And before we get rolling with everything, I am going to like and share the live stream. And I invite you to do the same, whether you're with us here during the live stream show or if you're watching the recorded. And I say this almost every day. It's kind of like a light worker or energy worker's civic duty, right? It's kind of like paying it forward in a way. Do you remember when you first started out consciously on your spiritual path, what that was like? And how much you read and you absorbed and went to classes and you were searching, you were a seeker, right, for information. And so when we share and like the live streams for the shows, we're actually in the newsfeed a little bit more often. And so those souls who are searching for this kind of information were a little bit easier to find. A little bit. All right, so I am going to like the live stream. If I can find it here. I know it's here. Got to restart. Refresh. There we are. I'm going to like it. I'm going to share it over to my news feed, just so that my friends know that I'm live streaming. I'm live streaming. Please join me. There we go. And we're going to share it. And we're going to share it. Why won't it share? All right. I'm hoping it went. I hit share, but it didn't do anything. Technology is grand when it works, right? All right. We're going to get to there. All right. I think it went. Yay. Thank you guys for doing all the shares. I appreciate that. I really do. because hopefully we're going to be helpful to somebody, right? And that's the name of the game. Thank you, Stephanie, for doing all of the posts about what's going on in Star Nations, for the magazine and for the upcoming shows that are going to be tonight and tomorrow. That's good. Good stuff. Julie's here. Julie Shumway Hill. Good afternoon, Julie. Always good to see you in the chat. And Jackie's here too. Hello, Jackie. Good afternoon to you. Andrea's here. Hello, Andrea. And Valerie's here. Yay, yay, Valerie. And Rob is here. Why is one of the roots of telepathy pathos? I don't know. Tell us. He says it's the Greek word for suffering or disease. Yeah, so that doesn't make sense, does it? When we're talking about telepathy. Makes you want to go, Thank you, Andrea, for sharing. It's very nice of you. Yeah. I don't know why that is, Rob. That doesn't make a lot of sense to me. What were those Greeks thinking about way back when? Those ancient Greeks, huh? The telepathy. I don't know. But that is a kind of like a nice segue, I suppose. Leslie Serenesi is going to be teaching a class here in April, level 1 of animal communications at Star Nations Academy. And it'll be her debut here. So I'm looking forward to it. And, one of the questions I have for her, and I don't know, maybe I'll interview her before the class. Maybe like a couple weeks beforehand. But there is a question I have for Leslie, and that is along the lines of the telepathy, because I noticed with George is that, I can talk to him, with the verbal words and things like that. And he understands pretty well, but when I combine it with the picture in my mind and I add the little ingredient of love, it's like, you're such a good boy, because he is, some love in there. It's like the message is received almost immediately. More so than if I call him and I'm going, George, 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 and it's like he doesn't hear me, and I'll say, I know you hear me. You don't have to be selective, If I said there was a treat in there, you'd be here within, a second. And so that's what I want to ask Leslie about, is that combination, what that does, right? Because I have my own guess about it, but I'd like to hear her professional guess on it. Yeah. Rob is saying, I'm asking. Good. Let us know what you find out. Hi, Pat. Good to have you here. And Rochelle's here too. Hello, Rochelle. Good to have you here. Always good to see you in the chat. Yeah. So today's Wednesday, midweek, right? Yeah, it's been busy here. So much so that Paul looked at me and he goes, do you remember that old commercial? Now I'm going to date myself, okay? I think it was like in the 70s, maybe even the early 80s. It was time to make the donuts. Dunkin' Donuts, I think it was. It was one of their early commercials. And they had the donut maker, right? And they get up early and he'd go in. And they were so busy. He had so much work to do. And it felt like he was on the go all the time, right? And there was this part of the commercial where he meets himself in the hallway because he was coming home to go to bed and he was getting up to go to work. And sometimes it feels that way this week because there's so much going on between Paul and I, right? And George, poor George, he's stuck in the middle of there. Oh my gosh. Oh, and I need to answer a question to a good friend of mine who sometimes you'll see her in the chats. Mary Anderson Fry had sent me a message, and she goes, "Hey, you haven't mentioned your mom lately in the shows, and she's asking how she was doing." And I realized, I haven't. So here's a mom update for all of you. The cold weather, remember that polar vortex? Yeah, that was really, really hard on her. she was already in a lot of arthritic pain already, but you added that on top of it, and yeah, we're dealing with pain, um, a higher level of pain every day. And so it's one of the good things that I appreciate about is you guys understanding when I moved this show from the morning to the afternoon, because mornings seem to be harder for her. And so it gives me the leeway to be able to help her and get things done for her, rather than trying to be under a lot of stress and pressure to try to make it here on time, right? So I appreciate that. But for her, yeah, we're doing all kinds of different things for pain. We're doing ointments and creams and oils, and she does have a medication for pain that she doesn't like to take. She only takes half doses, and just trying to help her to be comfortable. Really, she has taken to lying down a little bit in the morning and in the afternoon, which isn't typically my mom. No. No. Even when she was raising us, you never saw her take a nap. Never. She never laid down. There was always something to do and something to get done, is what she would say. So for her to take those times to lie down. Now, taking cat naps in her chair, she's done for a long time, since she's moved in. But the actually going to bed to stretch out is something new. Yeah. So for those of you who have done primary caregiving or caregiving of any kind, really, you know what it feels like to experience that incremental decline, right? Because there's really very little that you have absolutely no control of it at all. All you can do is do your best and try to hang in there, right? And so basically that's where mom is at right now. Today she seems to be having a pretty good day. Why is because the one thing that she keeps on top of is the politics. I tell you what, I told her the other day, if it wasn't for President 45, I said you'd be pretty calm and you wouldn't have much to do. He keeps you going. And she says, I'm hoping to be around to see him impeached, and so so she has that that drive. Yeah, more so than I do when it comes to the politics stuff. And so, she makes me laugh though when she says things like that. Yeah. So, technically, we're doing the best we can. We're doing the best we can and keeping her comfortable and reminding her that she's safe. She's safer than she's ever been. And that it's time to relax, yeah. So that's a mom update. Yeah. Let's see what else is going on in the chat room before we get to the card. Hey, Polly Joe's here. Polly Joe. Oh my gosh, she's listening in the car. Hopefully your husband's driving. God. It's good to hear from you though, Polly Joe. We missed you the other day. Looking forward to seeing you tomorrow night. All right, so I have coffee today in my Star Nations mug. Yeah. Mom wanted coffee for her afternoon snack, and I said, geez, that sounds good. So I did. So today's card, it's very interesting. I had taken George into puppy daycare. Mom was taken care of. And I did some shipping out some things before I came home. And so when I got home, it was pretty quiet here. And so I grabbed my morning smoothie and grabbed the cards, and I sat in the living room without being somebody trying to jump on me, which would be George, and to get the cards, right? And so I was talking to my spiritual team about it. And I was asking them, to show us what's the most important energy that's flowing today that we should know about. And I added in there that that we're sharing this information, right? And it's for the highest good. And what I heard my team say to me was that the joy that they have knowing that they're able to participate in what we're doing, in the sharing. It's one thing to get the card and for it to be helpful for your day, to help you kind of a heads up or to help you understand how things are unfolding, which is huge. But for them, it was about the sharing piece, that it was joyful for them to participate in that. And I have to say, it made me feel good, made me smile. So this is the card that jumped out of the deck this morning. We've never had this card before. This is Water Dragon. Water Dragon. Yeah. Completely different than the Fire Dragon, don't you think? Because we had Fire Dragon, I don't know, maybe about 2 weeks ago. Water Dragon. Now, I'm going to try to get start at the top here so you can really see it. It almost looks like an eel, doesn't it? Water Dragon. In all that dark water and the dark sky. Water Dragon. Now, I have to look up because I don't remember how to pronounce it. I was trying to work on that this morning because the author has a pronunciation guide in the back of the book, which is very nice for the Gaelic, right? And so for Water Dragon, of course, that's the English, right? And the Water Dragon is pronounced Draig-uisge. Ushku. I think that's how it's pronounced. In Gaelic, it's spelled Draig hyphen uisge. Uisge is the word for water. Okay. And phonetically, it's Drig, Draig, and it's spelled double Ooshcu. Ushku. Ushku. I don't know. I hope I'm close. Yeah, we're learning a whole different language here too. Gaelic. Did you know that in Ireland, for a very long time, Gaelic was mandatory in elementary school and in high school? That they take that language, and they have to pass in their exams the basic usage of the Gaelic language. And there's, kids procrastinate, right? Just like adults do. And there are actually submersion classes like in the western part of Ireland, okay, where they speak Gaelic more often. And parents pay, the Dubliners, right? Their parents pay for their child to go live with a family, and they're immersed in the language. Because when they come home, they have to take their exams. And so that they have the language, it's more fresh in their minds to be able to take the test. Now that was a few years ago. They were talking about removing the mandatory part of the language in school and replacing it with an optional. I don't know. Side note, right? Yeah. Rob says, looks like Nessie. I know. I thought the same thing too. You know, the stories that we've read, the pictures that have been drawn, but the Loch Ness monster. Yeah, Loch, Loch, meaning lake, Lake Nessie, right? Loch Ness, Lake Ness. And so, yeah, Nessie, the Loch Ness monster. And how much of that, you know, there's some truth to that, I would imagine, and that there's a bit of Hollywood in there too. But yeah, I agree. I agree with you, Rob. Reminds me and looks like what Nessie would or could look like. Rob is also saying, now the gray whale has run, the sperm is almost done. The finbacks and the Greenland rights have all passed and gone. They've been taken by men for the money they could spend, and the killing never ends. It just goes on. All right, so what song is that? Yeah, giving us the lyrics without telling us what song it is. So we have to know that this dragon is all about emotions, right? The water. All about the emotions. So without reading the book, which we'll do in a minute, but without reading the book, one of the things that when I was sitting there thinking, okay, so we know a little bit about dragon. And if you match that up to the element of water and what the water symbolizes and what water is, what could this card be telling us for today, right? With water being the symbol of emotions. And that really water is life, right? We can only go for so many days without water. Our health certainly suffers when the water isn't a optimal water. In other words, it's polluted, right? Ingesting it. You know, it's a hot topic, that's for sure. Very divisive and polarized. This gift of water, and in our traditions, in my tradition, Native American, we put water as the sacredness because it's Grandmother Earth's blood. And so when we take in water, we're taking her in, and it becomes a sacred moment, right? That's why there's so many water ceremonies. And so water, when we're thinking of it in that way, we could actually say that the water dragon, right, is representing that sacredness in all of the extremes. Everything from a quiet, placid lake that you can just see the shimmery reflections on the surface. It's so calm. To a tsunami, you know, and everything in between. And isn't that kind of like how sometimes we experience our emotions, right? When we're grounded and centered, we could say that the water is very peaceful and calm. And when we're not, or when we're experiencing those life crises, the emotions, the water is very rocky and turbulent and life-threatening, right? Yeah. and the energy or the spirit of the dragon is so huge. It's big medicine. They carry a very large vibration, a resonance that reaches out for hundreds of miles. That's how big their medicine is. And so when you combine the two, I can tell you that we're going to be talking about healing again. That's for sure. But we're talking about really having the opportunity to go into the healing of our emotional traumas with some big medicine coming from the dragon. Hi, Tanya. Tanya's here. Hi, this water dragon looks powerful, doesn't it, though? It certainly does. And Rob is saying, Ode to Big Blue, Gordon Lightfoot. One of your guys, Gordon Lightfoot. You quote him a lot. Actually, you play a lot of his songs, too, don't you? And Andrea is saying, very powerful. I almost felt fear while looking at the water dragon. Oh, there is that, isn't it? So I'm going to show this again. And, and allowing yourself to go to what do you notice first on the card? What do you notice first? What brings you in, brings your awareness to the card? And really, we're talking about the essence of the card. Because obviously the dragon is front and center. Yeah. And I can understand, Andrea. I can understand the fearfulness or the feeling of that. Because it's possible that it's touching a part of you that in the desire to heal, sometimes those really emotional traumas, sometimes we don't like to look at them, to have to address them, because it's so painful, right? Emotionally painful, that we we prefer for it to stay hidden or buried, rather than to having to actually face it because of what it might bring up or what you may have to address, right? Yeah. But there's also this fear. If anybody has fear of snakes, right, you're certainly going to take a step back, I think, because this has a great deal of energy to it. Yeah. And we also have splashing water here too, right? Talk about a little bit of that turbulence. Of course, we don't know exactly how deep the water is there near the shore, but it could definitely be more shallow than going out towards the horizon. And I suppose that's another thing that we could actually address, right? Is how close in proximity is the water dragon to the shore? In other words, how close is he bringing that the opportunity to heal? And why am I calling him a he? It could be very well a female, right? Oh, okay. Because I was looking to see. I thought I saw some etchings earlier, and there is on the rock. Let's see if I can get it in there. Can you see that? It looks like a cup, doesn't it? A chalice, maybe? And on the other side, there's this little, I don't know what that is. It looks maybe like a shell over there in the corner. And again, you see the faces and the rocks. And just above that, what looks like a shell to me, just above and a little bit to the left. It reminds me of maybe children, small ones, in the rocks. Yeah. You know, the emotional trauma healing could very well be your own from something that you've experienced in this particular lifetime, right? But you may also be experiencing the healing for ancestral trauma, that emotional trauma that is passed down from one generation to another from the ancestors, right? And because you're awake on your spiritual journey here, that you may be the one of their descendants that has the opportunity to break the cycle, to disrupt it. And how do you disrupt it? You start healing it. You address it. For all those generations that may have disregarded it or ignored it, or it was just too painful for them to address. You know, there's a meme that's going around, and it's very touching, and it says something like, "You're the one your ancestors prayed for." Yeah, that's the thought that came to me this morning. That's the feeling that I got when looking at this card. That knowing that it was going to be emotional trauma healing. And how many of us would rather, oh God, why would we want to do it, right? Because we have to look at things that are very painful. But if it's ancestral healing that you're doing, yeah, that we're the ones that our ancestors prayed for. They survived a lot for us to be here in this present moment. Our grandparents, and some of us, our parents, they survived the Great Depression. Yeah. They survived genocide. They survived the losing of children in one way or another. You know, some children died very young. Other children were literally taken from them. So there's a lot that can be healed, and I think that this is an opportunity to be a disruptor. This is an opportunity to do the kind of healing that needs to be done so that your descendants no longer have to deal with that. Yeah. All right. I'm going to back up just a little bit here in the chat, making sure I get everybody. Andrea is saying very powerful. I almost felt fear while looking at the water dragon. Okay, we covered that one. And Tanya's saying the eye looking at us, the dark sky. I know, right? A single eye. A single eye. Looking directly at us. So it's almost like we could almost take it like, I see you. I see you. And I know you see me. So there's no hiding. There's no hiding. Yeah, and then there's the single eye, right? The eye of Horus, or the left or right eye of Horus, and that's the mystery school. The all-seeing eye. the I am presence. Yeah. And I have to agree, Tanya, the dark, almost stormy kind of clouds that matches kind of the turbulent waters. And yet, look, up in the corner, right hand side, there's blue sky. Not a lot, but it's there. Blue sky. I was just double checking. And do you see the water rolling off from the head? Dripping down, coming off of him. It's like he just came out of the water, right? Yeah. All right. Let's see. I just got to scroll just a little bit here. Here we are. Andre is saying the snake-like shape is what I noticed first. Seems to be very in your face. Yes, I have to agree. Very prominent. There's no hiding. There's no hiding. There's no, how do I want to say this? Because, we've had wolf, we've had boar, we've had the fire dragon, we've had a lot of really intense oracle animals. But this one is, it's almost like I said, and I agreed with Tanya, that one eye. It's like, I see you, and I know you see me. Yeah. So I agree with you, Andrea. I do. And Rob is saying, the dragon must come close to the shore to heal us. As we must venture close to the sea, we do not share a home together. Oh, so because one lives on land and the other in the water. So actually, that could actually also be seen as balance between male and female, right? Or actually, balance of female. Sorry, balance of female. Because Grandmother Earth energy is female and the water is female energy. So it's really balancing our female energies. Ooh. I think we might have touched on something there, Robert. I think so. Hey, one of my sisters is in the house. Christine's here. Hello, Christine. It's good to have you here. And Rob says, sounds familiar to the Hopi prophecy. Yeah, somewhat. And Tanya's saying blue sky showing us hope. That's what I'm thinking. That's what I'm thinking. It's there. You have to, when you first look at the card, you don't really see it. But it's there. Mm-hmm. So let's see what Philip has to say, the author. The words that he connects with Water Dragon is passion, depth, and connection. Passion, depth, and connection. The card shows the Stoor, Stoor, worm, a great sea dragon whose head was like a mountain and his eyes like round locks or lakes, very dark and deep. Living off the coast of northern Scotland, he could only be appeased with the offering of 7 virgins, bound hand and foot and laid on a rock beside the shore each Saturday. A young man called Asapatl killed him by ramming his boat into his body and setting fire to the dragon's liver. As the dragon died, the crashing of his tongue made the Baltic Sea. As his teeth fell out, they made the Orkneys and Shetland Islands and the Faroe Islands. Finally, he coiled himself up tightly and crashed into the sea. And the old folks say that Iceland is his body, the liver still burning beneath its smoldering crust. So talk about slaying a dragon, right? And in this case, that dragon is all about emotions. Interesting that it was seven virgins, right? Offering the 7 virgins bound hand and foot. Now, they don't say whether or not they're male or female virgins. They're just saying that there's 7. 7, that's spiritual number. The number of spirit, I should say. But that slaying of that dragon is really about mastering and healing our emotions. Yeah. When we're facing those fears, right, around our an emotional trauma, you could say that you're slaying the fear. Because in order for it to be released or to be vanquished, that's another good word, it actually has to be focused on. Your attention has to go to it. You can't vanquish it without turning your attention to it. Because if you didn't turn your attention to it, nothing would change, right? Interesting. He goes on to say that the water dragon brings that which is hidden into the light of day. Memories and wishes, which may have long lain forgotten or repressed in the unconsciousness, may emerge to frighten or overwhelm you with their apparent negativity or destructiveness. Facing these experiences with compassion and courage will, in the end, bring you to an experience of greater depth of the soul and a greater sense of connectedness to all life. Although you may not at times feel overwhelmed with emotion, with time you will be able to achieve a sense of balance and stability as these strong feelings are integrated into your consciousness. That's a lot there that he's saying. That's a lot. So, I was talking about emotional trauma, right? Because that is the healing piece. But what he's also saying is that we have, for whatever reason, have also repressed and suppressed some good things too. Our wants and our desires. Maybe, you wanted to have a certain kind of life and someone told you, well, that's not doable. That's just pie in the sky. That is a pipe dream. That's not real. And so you allow someone to take your dream from you. And so you suppress it. They killed it. You're right. But it's still there in your unconsciousness, in your subconscious. Maybe it was a part of your soul work here, what you were meant, the life you were meant to live here. And so it's lying there deep within you that now it gets to come to the surface. And how? You're removing the debris around it. You're healing whatever is laying over it or hiding it. So we repress other things as well. That's a different way of looking at it, that's for sure. Because here in the States, when we talk about repression and suppression of trauma, we're usually talking about something negative, right? But the author is talking about both the things. Something that was positive that got buried, that had positive emotions around it, that got buried for whatever reason, allowing someone else to take that wish or that desire and make you feel like, oh, it doesn't matter. I'm never going to get that. And it's still there. Still has a chance to come to the surface. He also talks about how when we turn our attention to these hidden emotions, that they may be very strong emotions that has taken a lot of our energy to repress, to keep down. And so when they come to the surface, they may actually be very overwhelming. And to some people, they actually may have some fear around them because they're so intense emotions. And so I have this image of somebody kind of, backpedaling. It's like, wait a minute, I didn't know it was that big. Wait, I don't know if I really want to do this, because it's scary. And what he's saying here is that when we're facing it, that if we have compassion and courage, that we can face these emotions that need to come to the surface. I can imagine, maybe a generation from me or two older, that we were taught as children to be seen and not heard, right? And so basically, our voices were taken from us. And all of those feelings that go around that we're not able to express, because there's this belief system around it, right? And so when you have somebody who hasn't expressed their true emotions maybe ever in their life, how would that feel? When you not only shock yourself because you just express something that you've been holding back for a long time, and how much you shock the people around you because it's like, I didn't know they thought that way or felt that way, because we never expressed it. That's kind of intense. They didn't include that, but it's not that it's not. They didn't include it in the information given. Tanya is saying it's very hard when we are facing our fears, especially our emotional ones. This card is strong. Yeah. And I think that by this card coming to us today, it gives us an opportunity to either say, yes, it's time, I'm going to face this, or whatever it is for you. But it also gives us the opportunity to just to even turn our attention to it and consider it. And the thing is that when we make the decision to face those fears, we're not alone. We're never alone. We have friends and family who love us on both sides, both in spirit and here in the physical world. And so we're never alone. We just have to ask for assistance. So from your spiritual team, right, is to call them all in, all of them, and say, this is what I want to do. I want to face this emotional trauma. I want to face this event that happened in my life. And I need help. I want it to be as graceful as possible, and I want to be protected. I want to feel safe. Bring me if you need therapy, bring me the best or optimal therapist for this and the finances to pay for it. You can ask for that. Or show me the best healer for me, because it may be someone like Polly Joe, or it may be somebody like Minnie Kansman that can help you with the feng shui of your house, or a space clearing of your house. It could be, somebody who can do a shamanic journey for you. But to talk to your spiritual team and ask them for assistance. And ask your inner circle, those people who love you, who support you, the ones that you trust, is sit down and talk to them about it. And say, this is what this is what I'm going to do. This is what I am doing. And I need your help. Yeah. So asking for the assistance. Tanya saying, wow, looking at it with the positive emotions part, it's a very interesting and true. Yeah. I thought it was a great insight. And it's a different way of looking at this from a different perspective, a different cultural perspective too. Because remember, the Cargomes are from England. It's from the school of Druidry, right? And so it's a different perspective than we hear here in the United States, generally speaking. Yeah. And so when we're facing those emotional situations that we've repressed or suppressed, that it's a possibility that there's some positive things there as well that are covered up by interference, debris, someone else's debris. Yeah. It's a different kind of cleaning your house, right? Yeah. All right. So I'm going to look at the time here. One of the things that I found with these cards is that even though the card doesn't come to us in the reverse, like upside down, the information given can be very helpful in understanding the energy or the essence of the card and how that might fit you as you're taking in the information. Okay, so here's the reverse. It says, this card warns us to approach an exploration of our psyche and our past with caution. The conscious self can absorb the impact of only a limited amount of repressed or unconscious material being released into its awareness. It is wise to work fractionally, a little by little by little, to integrate unconscious material into the consciousness. It is often best for healing and wholeness to be achieved slowly. Be aware also of allowing your emotions to rule you in a way that later you will regret. Yeah. So let's take that just a little bit, okay? I think that the Creator has given us such a gift. I'm trying to find a way to say this. When we're ready in all ways to take on the healing of anything, it could be something small to something big, is that we get synchronicities. We get messages and symbols, right? And when we pay attention to them, it's like, oh man, that reminds me of, or I suppose it must be time. And the thing is that we also have the gift of we only get as much as we're capable of dealing with. Now, that we're capable of dealing with, because a lot of times I think we sell ourselves short, or we just want a little bit just to see, what it's like. And our capability is so much more. So even though it feels like it's too big or too overwhelming, you're never going to receive anything that you're not capable of dealing with. And that's where asking for help comes in. Yeah, I know. And when you're in the middle of it, though, you don't think that way. You think, what the heck? Why is this so hard? Why is this happening to me? Right? Yeah. And yet I also agree with the author is to go slowly. It's when we rush into something and we do a clutter clearing really, really fast, and we throw ourselves into a healing crisis because it was too much too soon, too much too fast. That we do need the lulls in there to integrate and to examine the shift, right? That's a healthy way of doing it. When we jump into the deep end of the pool, you get a lot of shocks all at the same time. And it's extremely uncomfortable. But when we do it a little at a time and we sit back and we take it in, we integrate it, and it's like, okay, I'm ready for the next piece. Right? Because it's not a race. It's not a race. There's no competition to it. Yeah. All in divine timing, right? Gosh, can you see that? We're already at the top of the hour. And there was so much more about dragons, water dragon. Yeah, I just wanted to let you know one more thing. See if I can find it. Let's see, it says gateways to the other world. Whether the dragon is fully fledged and fire breathing or is more primal and worm like, there is a significant preponderance of water in all its forms: rivers, wells, pools, lakes, marshes, bogs, and the sea. In most dragon stories, right? And water, and in particular its source, was sacred to the Druids, who also considered such places gateways to the under or other world. Since the dragon is an otherworldly creature, it is fitting that it should emerge from such a gateway. The psychological terms water represents the unconsciousness, and the emergence of monsters or dragons from the sea, well, or lake represents unresolved complexes, repressed and distorted drives of desire welling up into awareness. The destructive water dragon symbolizes perfectly the damaging nature of certain contents of the psyche, which, for the healing of the self, require a transmutation that may be depicted as a symbolic death. That's pretty deep. Deep stuff. So basically, that when we're healing that kind of emotional trauma, that it can at first feel like things are falling apart, that it's more destructive in nature than constructive. But in order to realize the new, we have to clear away the old. And that's what the healing's about. Yeah. And Tanya is saying, wow, looking at it from okay, we did that one. Hey, good. And Andrea is saying, lots of food for thought. I know, isn't that true? So true, Andrea. And so, what I'm going to offer is that as a reminder, okay, is that if you need assistance with the healing, is to reach out, whether it is to a good therapist or if it's to healers of any kind, is to remember you're not alone. You're not alone in this. You have your spiritual team, and you also have your physical spiritual team. You know, your friends and your family, those that you hold close to you in your inner circle. Yeah, and you might even consider. Um, joining Polly Joe tomorrow evening. I'm sorry, this evening. Today's Wednesday. This evening for Soul Connections. Because we go into the healing portion of this evening with our own intentions and our own spiritual team, right? Polly Joe and her team, what they do is they hold the sacred space for us. And if we need assistance in releasing or letting go or healing something, they're there to assist our team, us. And so even if it's a exploratory meditation, is to take your team in with you and say, I want to know what this is about. Show me what it is that we need to heal with this. What is the water dragon showing me today? Yeah. That's a tiny step. And it's good to start with small steps, right? It's just to identify. Yeah. Ask for help. So that is my take on the water dragon today. Is the spirit is letting us know that we have the opportunity to do some big healing, some big work, some real soul growth kind of work and healing. And that we have the opportunity, it could be an ancestral, primordial kind of healing. And that, remember that we are the ones that our ancestors prayed for. So to have the courage to break that cycle, to be the disruptor of an emotional trauma that has happened from generation to generation, right? Yeah, could be. So if it resonates with you, great, yay, embrace it, and see where it takes you today and how the energy unfolds around you, right? If it didn't resonate, don't worry about it. It's okay. You're not going to hurt anyone's feelings by saying, nope, didn't get that one. It's all right. We got tomorrow and the day after and the day after. And so please join us tonight if you can, okay, if you choose to. And with that, enjoy the rest of your Wednesday, and we'll see you back here tomorrow. Oh, wait, tomorrow's Thursday. I may or may not do a show tomorrow, okay? I'll let you know in the morning how things are going to roll out. But enjoy the rest of your day today, and we'll see you tonight, hopefully. Ba Mina, until we see each other again. Love you guys.